It is finally that time of the day to go to the gym. And today is back in Triceps. Oh man, what a classic. You know, back day, typically, going to start with the row. So that's what we're going to do. We're starting with the rowing machine today at Kamikaze Iron. You've all seen it before. You all know it. You're probably tired of it by now. But if it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it ain't broke. So we'll start with the machine rows, and then we'll kind of just play it by ear. I honestly might go into a pull down right after that because those have been feeling really nice. I've been switching back and forth between the straight bar and the neutral bar, but we'll really just kind of see where I'm at today. And then, of course, after the back is absolutely toasted, we're going to go over to some triceps. And you all know the idea behind that now of doing the chest and bis and the back and the tris. And I have to say right now, my split is 2 days on and 1 day off. So I have a lot of rest. It kind of comes out to about 5 lifts a week, 4 lifts a week, 4.5 lifts a week, something like that. And honestly, that's perfect for me. I was doing 3 days on, 2 days off. I was doing 3 days on, 3 days off for a while. And I don't know. I was just having days where I was going into the gym and I was like 80, 90%, not really feeling like completely there. And when I go to the gym, I want to feel 100%. I want to be ready to go. Now, I know that's not always going to be the case, especially in a prep. And the further we get into the prep, that's definitely going to be the case. But you're still going to want to optimize your recovery as much as possible. So while the calories are going down, if on one day, if I go to the gym 2 days in a row and I rest, and I can go to the gym the next day and train at 80%, whereas if I train 3 days in a row, rest, go back to the gym, and I'm at like 70%, I'm going to take the 80%. And that's just, that's what works for me. I used to train 5 days a week, 6 days a week in a row. I've trained like 3 weeks in a row straight, like hard, intense training. I've done 7 days in a row, like 7 days a week for months on end. And it's just one of those things where you find a way that works, and eventually, you either burn out or it stops working, or you have certain things in life like a job, school, whatever, get in the way of those things. And just the way my life is set up right now, 2 days on, 1 day off, works great. I feel great. I still want to go to the gym on my rest days, but I'm going hard enough to the point where I'm definitely like, no, I definitely need to stay home and rest, and it's going to be worth it. And I think a lot of people, if you struggle with, getting too antsy and going to the gym on your rest day, and you might argue with yourself, I've definitely been here, where you're like, oh, well, my legs are really fried, but, I could hit arms or I could hit my shoulders. The thing is, what you're doing in this situation is, yes, your shoulders or your arms or whatever are technically fresh while your legs are recovering, but you only got one body, and you only got one body that can utilize all of the systems that are in place to recover. So all of the nutrients and all of that science mumbo jumbo that's going into your muscles to recover your legs, it's now got to work twice as hard and half as effective to recover your shoulders. So now you just delayed the recovery process even more. So in my mind, just stick through the rest day and just use that built up angst the next time you go into the gym, and you'll have like a really good lift. I've found that now that I'm actually sticking to my rest days, the odds of me not having a good psychotic absolute balls to the walls lift is very, very low. Something extremely tragic would have to happen in order for me to not have a good lift. Like 5 hours of sleep, or just, I don't know, like a tornado rips through the gym or something. But you get what I'm saying. Anyway, that's enough talk before the gym. I will see you guys at the first set of some machine rows. Jumping into today's back and tricep workout, we're here on the good old trusty machine row, starting off with 4 plates per side. And honestly, I don't know what it was with today, but the weight was feeling really heavy. And honestly, I've been doing this machine for 4 weeks or so, and I feel like it's just time to move on. So in this next set, I went down to about 3 plates per side. Honestly, it was a pretty long day for me mentally at work. Was just kind of drained, and sometimes that can play a factor into how hard you're able to push the weights, but I just lowered the weight and repped it out and got a good squeeze and did what I could. I've also been hitting back about 2 times per week and going pretty hard, so I might cut it back to just once and see how we do on that. Doing the hamstrings and back on the same day might be a little too fatiguing, so it might be time to go back and reassess the workout split. But nonetheless, we still got a great workout in today, and we only did about 3 sets on this machine row here. I could go ahead and switch it to just doing single arm and see how that works. That is a good variation. Going over to some lat pull downs. These were feeling really good. I'm about 1 pin away from the full stack. And this time, I am trying to keep my ass on the bench a little bit more. It still comes off just a little bit, but it's just those little tweaks, refining the form before going up in weight and just making sure you're really locking things in. I think you can get away with a little bit of ego lifting and then perfecting the form from there. At some point, you're going to have to increase the weight, and your form might be a little bit worse than if you were to just stick with the same weight that you've been using the whole time. But in order to grow, you got to progressive overload somehow, and sometimes you got to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation. Using new weights can be uncomfortable, so you just got to learn how to be more comfortable with those weights, and then once you master that, then you can move on and move up again and repeat the process. But I switched over to these adjustable, they're like the mag grips. They're a different brand. I'm not sure what the name is, but I have them on like the slight underhand variation, so you can kind of focus on the lats a little bit more, and the elbows are almost in front of you, so you really get a good connection with the lats. I really like doing this variation after the straight bar pull downs, so I can really focus on squeezing and getting as much blood into the lats as possible. And then I decided to finish off with a couple of sets of Smith rows and really emphasizing the stretch on the way down. And this was just to finish off my back. My back was feeling it today, not gonna lie, but we still pushed it, did as much as we could, got every ounce of effort out of the back musculature. It's really, when you feel like you're at the end, you've exerted 90% of the workout, it's easy to want to just go home. You're like, I put in 90%. Give the extra 10%. It'll pay dividends. That's where you really see the progress. I sometimes like to think the workout starts once you get to the last 10%. That's where the growth is really going to come into play. It's not about how you start, it's how you finish, and you just got to make those last reps really count. If not, make them better than the reps at the beginning of the workout. But that's counterintuitive. Every rep should be, factored into the whole workout. Anyway, moving on to some Smith skull crushers. I actually really liked this. This felt really nice. And I just went like light and just focused on the stretch and the squeeze. I'm really trying to work on my mind muscle connection with my triceps and slowing it down, and just really like emphasizing the pause at the bottom just a little bit. It's not anything crazy, but the pump was insane, and the weight was nothing, to write home about. It just really felt good to do, like, I think these were like 20 rep sets, and just squeezing and focusing on, locking in on that muscle, because it is something that I think is more lacking on my arm. I don't think that they're horrible. It's just there's some more detail that I'd like to see in there slowly over time. And I actually started with overhead movements for triceps instead of my regular push downs. And honestly, it wasn't too bad. I just, instead of going heavy, I just went lighter and did more reps. And this will be the last set of triceps I show here. It's just I was doing a lot of reps and they were longer sets, so I didn't want to bore you guys too much. Anyway, I'll finish off this set and then I will see you guys in the posing room. Okay, it is time to assess today's pump, which I know you've all been waiting for. I've been waiting for. And if you skip to the pump, you can't do that. You have to watch the whole workout. If you skip to the pump, you're the kind of person that searches on YouTube how to get jacked without eating, sleeping, or doing cardio. So you gotta watch the whole workout to see how we got the pump, okay? Anyway, my triceps are thrashed, back is destroyed, so let's just check it out. Not too shabby. So yesterday was definitely feeling a little bit flat, but today I dropped a lot of water, so the pump is looking a little bit better. No complaints here. Nice and full, more lines coming in. Do a little side chest. Hit you with the tricep. Ooh, that's nasty. Jeez. Whew. A little side tricep. Let's see if I can hit it from the other angle. That's one thing I suck at. It's just practicing poses from both sides, but I'll give you guys a rear lat spread. Yeah. Let's see if I can get more light. Definitely not enough light, but anyway, you just gotta take it all in. Anyway, I've reveled in the pump long enough. You already know. Abs, maybe calves today actually, and food, and then I'll see you guys in the car. All right, that is a wrap on the chest and triceps. And we are out of here. Time to leave, go home and fuel up. Now I do have to do some meal prepping when I get back, but it's okay. It's only beef and rice, so it won't take very long. So that's nice. But a topic that has been on my mind that I think would be fun to go into is false, or just, what's the word I'm looking for? Undeserved recognition or false hype. I don't really know. I'm going to explain it right now. So, like, let's say, your homies or with somebody or something like that, and somebody posts, like, new gym PR, and you watch the video, and the form was, it's just nothing wrong with being happy. You can always improve and focus on the form. That's not my issue, right? If somebody wants to, claim that's their best form, that's great. Fine, go ahead, do your thing. it's when people, you know, so-called friends will comment and be like, wow, dude, going up, ascending, level 100. Oh, he's going demon mode. All this, you know, fake fluff BS, right? Like, what does that do? Like, I get that you want to be encouraging and you want to, you know, make the person feel good. But unless you just don't know any better and you can't tell that, like, nothing was accomplished, then, like, why are we hyping up, like, bad practice? It's just kind of like, you know, if you know, show up to a practice of whatever sport you're playing and you just did something half as good as somebody else and, like, you're just not really putting in effort, is that guy going to get recognition? And it's like, it's kind of like the participation trophy of the lifting world. It's every post these days, you, like, go on, it's like reels, and it's like, you know, now I'm not trying to pick on anyone and say that you can't, you know, be proud of your results and everything like that, but I mean, odds are if you're 150 pounds, you're probably not huge. Now, I'm not saying you can't get huge, but when I see comments like, dude's taking over the world, or bro looks like Kevin Levrone, what? Like, just seriously, like, what? Like, it's, honestly, in my opinion, it's kind of toxic, because you're not doing anything except creating some false perception that that person is achieving something that, you know, they haven't truly achieved. And at some point, that person is going to, you know, think back to how they received all those compliments for subpar results, and they're gonna wonder why they haven't, you know, made as much progress as they thought they were making. And, you know, complimenting somebody that's not necessarily deserving of a compliment can do, like, more damage than it can actually help that person. And I understand a lot of people are coming from the place of, oh, well, we need to be as encouraging as possible. And yes, I agree, we should encourage people to work harder and do better and everything, but you never see anybody dropping comments like, hey man, I think your form could have been a little bit better, or, you know, maybe not drop it in their public comments, but maybe shoot them a little DM and just be like, hey man, your form could use a little tips, some help. You know, it could be a little bit better. You could have gone down a little bit farther. That is going to help them achieve more gains than gaslighting them into thinking that they've done a good job. Like, it's never a good idea to reward bad behavior in a sense. Now, I'm not saying they're doing anything bad, but I don't know. Let me know what you think. Maybe I'm just an asshole, but that's just truly how I feel. I don't really like to you know, give out compliments unless somebody's truly deserving. And, you know, same thing, if you're complimenting, hyping up your, you know, whoever, it's one thing to, you know, joke around with your boys, but if you're just throwing compliments out to whoever and whenever, your compliments don't mean anything. It's just, you're just going to say it to whoever so that person thinks you're a nice person, right? If somebody comes up to me and they show me a deadlift or a squat where their back is folded in half and they're looking for a compliment, they ain't getting one, because that's not a squat or a deadlift, right? We're going to point out to them, hey man, if you know, you add more weight to that and that's your form, you're going straight to Snap City. That dude can be upset all he wants, and after that he can do it. But in my mind, I feel like if I encourage that behavior and he goes and adds more weight and he snaps his shit, I'm partly responsible because I didn't do my due diligence and let him know that, you know, maybe he should assess his lifting technique a little bit more. So everybody's afraid to be the asshole, but if you're looking out for somebody, you're not really being an asshole. Like, that person can think whatever. If that person's going to say, wow, this person didn't say anything nice about my PR that wasn't really a PR, that person's just trying to get attention. And the last thing you want to do is compliment somebody that's just looking for attention. But do what you're going to do anyway. I can't stop you. I can only share my opinion. But that's going to be it for today. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you when I see you.